What is going on, guys? Welcome to our live stream tonight, which is going to include myself, Buck-eye-nutz.
What's up,
Sakara? And
Alexis.
Whenever he gets here.
Doing some B&A over there.
So let's see. Registers on my actual feed, so I can adjust this goddamn thumbnail real quick, and then we're gonna get started.
What's up, Raekwon? What's up, Alexis?
Mr. Pride, Mr. Champ, what's up, guys? I'm glad you guys are still up.
So, like Dustin said, this is going to be our draft talk. Pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to go through every single pick that has happened so far in the NFL draft, and we are going to give our opinion on it. So we're going to start by the very first pick, which was Myles Garrett, and we are going to... No, Raekwon, you cannot join us.
Cringe James Incorporated, what's up?
Yeah, that's his new channel name.
That's his new channel name?
Yeah. He's now Cringe James.
He said everyone left, so he's here. He said he's proud of that.
Raekwon, you are not allowed to join because I said so.
Draft talk with Dustin, I like that. I thought he's supposed to be. We're waiting for him to get done with whatever he's doing, so we can actually jump on this.
Yeah, so I'm literally just gonna...
And for some reason, this is not up, so
Alexis said I'm guessing that Corey Davis joins the Titans. I feel like you might have a little bit of a
what?
An unfair advantage in that pick. Sorry, I was reading a comment.
So let's see here. There's no way
Raekwon, please don't start stuff because I have no way of putting you in timeout right now because my phone's broken.
Does Raekwon need to go on timeout?
I don't know. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping he can be like a mature human being, but given his track record.
Be nice, no waves. Let's see, can I get that?
Alexis, you are perfectly fine, man. Yeah, I'm still trying to decide who's gonna be my mod.
It's not working. So we won't do a thumbnail right now. I'll have to go back in there and adjust it later.
I didn't think James was jumping in, and then he just like jumped.
He jumped in, jumped back out. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, James is the only person allowed to jump in, and that's because he is. Let's just set this rule. To be in one of the streams for the Param crew, you have to either be a certified member of the Param crew, or be a YouTuber.
Yeah.
How am I certified?
You are not a certified member of the Param crew yet, but you are a YouTuber.
Well, honestly, like... I'll let you on Bell actually did it.
Shall we get started?
Let's go. The only certified members of the Param crew are Brad, Dustin, and me.
So far. Alright, so who wants to get started on
the third thing, because now everybody is commenting I am a YouTuber, you also have to be invited.
If you don't post videos on a consistent basis, I would not consider you a YouTuber.
Going by that rule, I am barely a YouTuber.
But you do it.
But I am more of a streamer than a YouTuber.
Yeah, but you're on YouTube. You're not on Twitch.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like that's what I do most consistently is I stream, and once summer starts, I'm putting videos.
No, respect for that, because you're just like straight out. You're like, I don't do it as much as I should, but I stream.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just because school, like I really had to cut it down because like I thought I was doing good, and then I got my progress report for the fourth quarter, and I was like, I have 4.5 weeks up to pull up this 20 I have in English.
20?
Oh,
yeah.
Fuck, dude.
It was fun. I had something that I didn't. I was, you remember when I was really sick that one time when I was really sick and I was out for like 1.5 weeks. We did 2 essays in that class. And so it was 200 points.
Guys, you know what I just realized?
What did you just realize?
I've been streaming for an hour.
Congratulations.
Right? Like I get to 3.5 hours, and I'm like, has it really been this long? Like, no, it hasn't.
Yeah, I've had to start looking at my time because like we don't have like unlimited Wi-Fi or whatever. You know what I mean? And so like I got in trouble for like the first month of during December because I was the reason that we ran out of Wi-Fi. Because I was streaming for like 4 hours a day every day.
Oh yeah, that will. Oh, I'm going to close out each pick. So who wants to start and who wants to go second then?
Are you saying like? Well, I don't have the stuff pulled out, so I think you should just like state who gets picked, and then we give our opinion.
No, that's what I'm gonna do. What I'm saying is the opinions. I'm gonna close out every pick.
Oh, so you're gonna be the last person to give your opinion?
I'm gonna be the last person to give my opinion and sum it up. So I want to know who wants to intro it and who wants to.
I'll intro.
Second.
I'll intro.
Okay. So, to start off the 2017 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns selected Myles Garrett out of Texas A&M. What do you think, Pax?
Okay, so my opinion on Myles Garrett, obviously he is the most physically appealing player in the whole draft, not even defensive end, but just player. Like, he had a 40-something inch, he had like a 45-inch vertical, which is completely insane for a defensive player, let alone an end who's not supposed to be that physical, you know what I mean? And he also had like almost a 12-foot broad jump. He ran like a 4.6 or 4.7 40, which is extremely quick. But like my favorite thing about him is like when you watch him play, he plays like a more powerful rusher than he actually looks. Like his level of power to be able to get through those tackles is amazing. But like the only downside I found to him is his motor is only high whenever the play is going to him. Like if he's on the left side and the play goes away from him, he's not going to run to the. He literally, you can watch plays of him just standing there while the ball gets ran to the other side 10, 15, 20 yards.
Agreed.
And he doesn't do anything about it. And to be the type of player that that the Cleveland Browns are going to want him to be, the type of defensive staple on the line. If you aren't consistently putting that effort in, then you aren't going to last long.
Agreed.
James?
Alright. Myles Garrett, I mean, he came out the same college as Von Miller, and when I see him play, he kind of reminds me a lot like Von Miller, just at the defensive end position. Like, he's explosive.
I agree.
He's got the speed and skill for it, but can he actually pull through? I mean, like, will he be a bust since he's on Cleveland? Like, that's my opinion. Like, Cleveland's trying to rebuild, but I think they might not have what it needs to rebuild just quite yet, and that might impact his influence in the league.
I agree. The team that he goes to does impact things.
Now, okay, so to put in summary, I'm kind of right down the middle of both of you. I see where he is just a full-on athletic freak. Like, it's amazing that he scores this many numbers.
Yeah, he's...
But here's the problem that I have, and especially being a number 1 overall pick, usually means you should be, at least to me, you should be the best player in the draft. Now, guaranteed, some teams don't draft that well, everything else. Here's the problem, and here's why I think he's a good talent, but he's not a number 1 overall pick. Because he is an athletic freak, which could translate to being a great player. But I will preface it with this. He showed up against D2 schools and D1 schools that literally have no game at all. They are tin cans. They are meant for you to trample all over. So he would generate 2, 3, 4 sacks a game against a school that doesn't mean shit. But when it came to the truly elite competition, like the SEC schools and the Big Ten schools, he had nothing.
Only one sack. Only one sack against Alabama. He had he had 3 sacks against UT, which is the worst offensive line in the SEC, next to Vanderbilt.
Maybe years ago they were a good school, but not anymore. So like those three sacks literally to me mean nothing. The fact they got 1 sack against Alabama, who is the best offensive line in the SEC and top 5 in the FBS last year. Yeah. But I mean, literally, like, you're looking at a guy, but look at the division he's going into. Like, you have to take on the Ravens. You have to take on the Steelers. You have to take on the Bengals. Say what you want about Joe Flacco as a quarterback.
He will beat you.
That offensive line.
And for him to make the comment that he made.
You're talking about a team that had a running back who was 32 years old. And he literally went for 1,000 yards with what, 5 games left, 4 games left?
Yeah.
Like he cracked 1,000 yards with 4 or 5 games left, and it was just like,
that's
dude,
Madden numbers.
There is no damn way. There's no damn way that he is deserving of the first overall pick, and I would not, even with him going to the Browns, reverse that. Even if he didn't go to the Browns, he would be a bust, just because he's not that good. No. He's not deserving of that pick. And I can think of a couple other defensive ends. I can think of a couple other linebackers that would have deserved to go number 1 over this guy.
I agree.
I think of a few other players in general that deserve to go number 1 over this guy. So that's my standpoint on it. I mean, everybody can think what they want. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I just think the Browns. Now, the other 2 picks that we get to later that they made, really, really strong picks. Really strong. Like, good job. But I think they just dropped the ball on this one. So it is what it is. You're just stuck with this guy for 4 years because you're going to give him a guaranteed like $30 million. So that's that.
Yeah. Okay, so second overall pick, we've got the the Chicago Bears made their.
We have literally the most moronic pick in the history of the NFL. With the exception, all right, listen to the rest of this before you agree to it. With the exception of Ryan
Jamarcus Russell or Ryan Leaf. I was about to say Jamarcus Russell or Ryan Leaf.
Dude, I would take Jamarcus Russell over this guy. I would literally do that. So, Pax, why don't you hit us off with the second overall pick that they gave up 3 picks just to move up 1 slot.
Okay, so I believe you're talking about the Chicago Bears taking Mitchell Trubisky, the quarterback, out of North Carolina. Am I correct?
I am, yes. Yes, I am.
So my opinion, on Mitch Trubisky. He is the bust of the draft. Is he a good quarterback?
He's the true bust of the draft.
He is the true bust of the draft. And the reason I say that is not because of his level of talent, because he is a talented quarterback. Is he the most talented quarterback in the draft? No. Is he the quarterback that deserves to be the first one picked in the draft? No. But is he someone who, if given time to develop at the NFL level, could be successful at the NFL level? Yes. That being said, are the Chicago Bears going to do that? With Jay Cutler, the worst quarterback probably in Chicago Bears history.
I would agree with that. Yes.
Will they be willing to take this guy who was third team ACC this year? Third team ACC, sitting under Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson, which being said is very strong competition to be sitting under.
Yes.
Are they going to want to take this guy who is really not that impressive other than his athletic ability and his physicality?
Yep.
And are they going to make the decision to sit him for a year? Or are they going to say, yeah, fuck it, put your helmet on. We need a quarterback.
We need you right now. Step up.
Yeah, because if they do that, then it's going to turn into every single quarterback the Browns have ever had.
I would agree with that. It's going to mirror that situation. I agree. I mean, you just laid out that you paid $40 million for a fucking backup.
Yeah.
Like, literally, that's basically what they did with Mike Glennon by them taking Trubisky.
Yeah. And do I think that he's got some good physical qualities? Yes. He does have a good arm. He has thrown multiple 60-yard passes in college. He is definitely very physical. He reminds me a little bit of Tim Tebow's running style, how he wasn't afraid of contact. He has too many physical errors, and most of that's probably because he's only had 13 starts at the college level, and he was sitting behind a dude who actually has done nothing in the NFL.
Alright, so I will come back to that later when I close this one out. James, you got anything to add?
Yeah, I actually do. Mitchell Trubisky, I feel like not the best pick. I mean, like, I know he's got rhythm and like he's got some speed, but I mean, like, they should have just like re-signed Jay Cutler, or at least started Mike Glennon. I thought Mike Glennon was gonna be like a franchise quarterback. Off he go like, no, wait, hold up. All right, I'm back. Okay, so like,
I've been trying not to do that.
I completely. I just have my ticker on for background right now while we talk about this. I completely agree with that. Like Glennon, when he was on the Buccaneers, I thought he showed enough under Greg Schiano to be the starter, and then just like he gets benched like the rest of his career. So
yeah,
I thought them giving $40 million to him for 3 years, I was like, oh, done. Like there's your starter. Someone actually realized his talent, and then nope, you just paid $40 million for your backup.
Yep. Like, I mean, Trubisky might be the backup. Hi, Jerry. Trubisky might be the backup and all, but I mean, like,
yeah.
I don't know, because, I mean, that guy's from North Carolina State. So was Jared Goff, right?
No,
Goff was from Cal.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So it's Carson Wentz, right?
No, Carson Wentz went to North Dakota State.
Okay, who else is from North Carolina?
North Carolina. Marquise Williams, who really hasn't done anything. I can't think of any.
Taj Boyd was Clemson, right?
Taj Boyd was Clemson. He was South Carolina.
I don't know, but I mean, like, Trubisky, he's just not the pick that I would have seen for Chicago to trade up and just waste basically the entire draft focusing on. Like, I would have rather taken Deshaun Watson, or at least would have traded like for Kirk Cousins or something. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, like, that's all I gotta say. Like, why Trubisky? Like, I mean, they passed up on so many great opportunities and great chances that it just triggers me, honestly.
No, I understand that, and you know what? There is nothing more I can add to this because I feel the same way both of you do about this whole pick. But the only thing I will add to this that Pax, you kind of touched on a little bit earlier, and I said I'd come back to, is that here's a guy who only started 1 year, and
13
it's
games.
It's not because you sat behind some all like
He didn't pull an Aaron Rodgers.
You're talking about a guy who didn't start until his senior year, because what was the guy before him? What was it? He was drafted in the 5th round, and now he's just sitting on some fucking practice squad somewhere. Like, literally, you did not start because this guy was better than you, and because you come from a pro-style offense, you deserve to be the first quarterback taken. I'm sorry, this guy, like you said, he's the bust of the draft. He has it written all over him. You are not going to do anything in the NFL if you can't win the starting job behind a 5th round pick.
Yeah, definitely.
Literally that guy is like meant to be like the 3rd string quarterback of your team for like the entirety of his career. He's only there if your first 2 guys go down. That's it. Trubisky, they made a major reach. I don't agree with it. Honestly, you think Mahomes should have been taken first. I think Watson should have been taken first. But I mean, everybody can agree.
It was not Trubisky.
It's definitely not Trubisky. I mean, if I get proven wrong, like, I will gladly apologize, and
but you
I will
won't
gladly take the fact that I was wrong. But I know I'm not going to be with this one. So, the team that actually raped the Bears in the ass is the next team to pick, and just prove to them that literally they just raped you because they weren't going to take Trubisky in the first place. They get 2/3 and a 4th out of you, and they end up taking Solomon Thomas anyways.
Out of Stanford.
Like, when I saw this, because I
it had me
didn't get
crying.
to watch any of this, right? I didn't get to watch any of this because I was at work the whole time, but I'm looking at my phone, and this literally made me laugh. Like, I almost cried laughing.
I did cry laughing.
So, what did you think about them actually taking Solomon Thomas?
I knew that they were going to take Solomon Thomas because, I mean, I knew that the first 2 guys coming out of the draft, I've said this whole time, the first 2 guys coming out of the draft were going to be Myles Garrett, Solomon Thomas.
Yeah.
I've been saying that for months. And
agreed, J-Man. I fully agree with that.
And
sorry, Tex, go ahead.
If the Bears would not have traded up, I would have been absolutely 100% correct in my prediction. And my prediction still stands because they picked 3rd, and I said that those 2 teams would pick those 2 players. And I like Solomon Thomas just slightly a little bit better than I like Myles Garrett. And I will say that because if you think about it, the SEC offense can be known as what you could call the freshman conference.
Yep.
Because how many dudes did Myles Garrett play that were really that experienced? Josh Dobbs, who was he had a 3-sack game against an experienced quarterback for UT. Yeah, he was a senior, but I mean, he's also, I don't think he's actually been picked up in the draft yet, and we're winding down the 3rd round. But the thing is, you have Solomon Thomas, who plays in the same conference as Davis Webb. He had a big game against Pat Mahomes. He had a big game against Mitch Trubisky. He's had big games against literally every single big offensive player in the draft.
Yeah.
And to disregard his speed is just stupid because he's like a cannon. It's like a torpedo to watch him take off. It does not matter where you line him up. He is going to break through that offensive line, and he is going to be in the quarterback's ass the whole game.
Agreed.
And it does not matter who the ball carrier is. If Donnell Pumphrey, the running back from San Diego State, who's supposed to be one of the shiftiest the shiftiest running backs in the West, if he got the ball, he was going to get taken down by Solomon Thomas seconds after he gets the ball. Because it does not matter how you try to cover him. He's like Joey Bosa in California.
Yep.
And I really don't have any bad things to say about him. He really has no downside.
My only takeaway from this is the scheme. But I'll get to that in a little bit. What do you think, James?
Well, I don't really watch college football, but I saw the highlights that the NFL puts together, and they make like Myles Garrett look like he's so big and bad, and then like when I actually see the stats, Solomon Thompson is better in my opinion.
Solomon Thomas, yeah.
He's just overall just better. He knows what he's doing. He's like quick. He's agile. He's basically like Myles Garrett, but like 10 times better in my opinion. Like that guy is quick. He can get off the line. He can get straight down the quarterback's throat. Just like he just gets everyone uncomfortable and uneasy to see whenever he's on the field.
Yeah, J-Man. I do agree. He needs to work on his footwork.
That is good.
I don't know if he has the most potential. He's talking about Mahomes. But he is going to be a strong. We'll get to his pick, and I'll let you know what everybody's saying about him. But yeah, no, Thomas. It's actually not even his footwork, dude. His handwork. Like, he's the type of guy. Like he's a defensive end in a 3-4 scheme, right? Stanford's still 3-4. He's a guy that can actually translate to either the defensive end in a 4-3, like the 49ers are going to run, or he could be a defensive tackle in the 4-3 simply because of his strength and his handwork. But yeah, because he's like a fucking cannon, he's got that power that's just like no matter where he is on that front board, like you got like, to account for him at all.
I agree. Okay, so let's go to the fourth pick.
And I think everybody called this one. Everybody knew this was going to happen. They have a legacy, if you will, of doing this. They started out with Fred Taylor in the early 90s. They went MJD in the early 2000s, and now to go into the next decade, the Jacksonville Jaguars took Leonard Fournette, which I think everybody saw coming.
Yeah, so Leonard Fournette, in my opinion, Leonard Fournette is going to be the next Jamal Charles.
Even though he's bigger than Charles?
Yes, but I'm saying just the style, because everybody compares Dalvin Cook to Jamal Charles. I don't know if they both got dreads and that's why, but I don't see the comparison. I
honestly don't either.
I see Leonard Fournette as the next Jamal Charles, because Jamal Charles is technically classified as a power back, but when you watch Jamal Charles play, he has hands like a slot receiver. And it is the same way for Leonard Fournette. He
also has cuts like a scat back.
Yeah, he's just a total package, but his power was what gives him that classification. And Leonard Fournette's the same way. And I like him. I like him because of that.
Yeah, that's why to me I put him more in that classification of like he reminds me more of AP than he does
Peterson.
Anybody else.
Yeah, my only downside is
he's got that speed, he's got those cuts, he's got that strength, and he's got the size.
Yeah, definitely. My only downside to Leonard Fournette is if you watch any highlight of him, he goes to make a cut, and what you see is his hips are so stiff. I get that at the college level, if you're that much more physical and that much stronger than everybody, that you're able to just run straight up and just plow over everybody. But at the level of the NFL, if you run straight up, your career is going to be very short.
Yeah, because they're gonna take you out of the legs, and then there goes your knees, there goes your
And
ankles.
he's already had knee surgeries. He's already had knee surgeries, so he needs to learn to lower the pad level at all times, and not just when he's going to truck someone. Because if not, Leonard Fournette is not going to last very long in the league.
Agreed. 100%.
James?
Okay. First of all, I was one of the only people who didn't expect Leonard Fournette to go to the Jaguars.
I love how he slaughters the names every single fucking time.
I love it, yeah. That's his flavor, though. That's his flavor.
So, Leonard Fournette, when I saw his highlights, I was like, this guy's going to be like the next Adrian Peterson. He's going to be so good. And then, like, you're right. His hips are too stiff. Like, when I juke, I noticed, like, that his hips are, like, way too stiff compared to mine. And I'm not just, like, saying that just to brag about myself or anything. But, I mean, he just needs to, like, loosen up at least a little bit. Because, I mean, if he stays too tense, that's how torn ACLs are formed, and then his career just, like, skyrockets downhill from there. But he's overall, like, a top-notch performer, at least.
Definitely agreed on all of that. There's nothing more I have to add to that, because I think I just said everything when I answered it. But honestly, like, I wasn't surprised at all. Just like with the 5th pick, I called that shit. I called that shit from the very beginning when everybody was saying, "Oh, Mike Williams will be the first wide receiver off the board." I was like, "Have you not seen this fool? Have you not seen what he does?"
And
like,
most people have it.
His size, his speed. I legit, like, he has, like, some Randy Moss talent to him. He's more skilled than Moss is as far as, like, route running and everything else. Because Moss, like, let's be honest, he's just a straight up streaker and goes up and gets the ball and comes down with it.
He was one of the most physical wideouts.
Yeah, Corey Davis is literally, I think personally, the wide receiver of the draft. Like, everybody makes out Mike Williams to be it, or John Ross, but to me, Corey Davis is the top wide receiver of this draft, and he was the first wide receiver taken. So I mean, it seems appropriate. And look, just so happens that, hey, the Titans needed a wide receiver like this, because we all know that Rashard Matthews is nothing like a Corey Davis.
Definitely. Okay, so my opinion on Corey Davis. He is, like, if you look at his story, this dude has one of the biggest dedications to the game of all time. So, like, you say, this dude played for Western Michigan. That obviously means that he had some sort of issues getting scouted by big schools. The reason he went to Western Michigan was because until his senior year, he was not eligible to be scouted for Division I football.
Very true.
Because his GPA was too low. Because he was homeless. And he had to worry about being able to eat and not worry about playing football. And then his football coach let him live with him. And he said, you've got to fix your stuff if you're going to live with me, and I will help you, and I will get you scouted by Division I talent. And by the time his senior year had passed through, he only had one Division I offer. And that was to the Western Michigan Broncos. And that was because no one else wanted to take the chance on a dude who was barely academically eligible to play.
Agreed.
And Corey Davis said, "Coach, you will not regret it," and nobody has. Corey Davis has the most Division I receiving yards of all time. Now think about, name any wide receiver that has been drafted. You've got AJ Green, Randy Moss, you've got Jerry Rice, and this dude has more receiving yards in college than those guys had. And if you look at it, we're doing a draft recap, Hayden. With Brad and Dustin? No, I'm talking to Dustin and James.
James is still awake?
Brad's MIA.
Brad's missing in action. He's doing a little bit of BNA.
Wait, no,
Yep.
James is still awake? How?
I don't know how James is still awake. But, anyways, his biggest upside, in my opinion, is his ability to get the ball. His ability to, no matter where on the field the ball is, no matter where in his catch radius it is, he is going, if he follows the parable, if he touches it, it is coming with him.
Yeah.
If he touches the ball, it is coming down with him. His downside, in my opinion, does have to do a little bit with the competition. Not saying that playing playing against smaller schools makes you less of a competitor, but it does mean that the DBs at Toledo and Kent State and Ball State are not as good as the corners at Alabama and Wisconsin and all these big Power 5 conference schools. And the only reason I say that's relevant is because his route running.
Yes.
You might be able to get off on a banana route when you're supposed to do an out route against Toledo, but going against Darrell Revis, he will pick you off all day. Going against Akeem Talib, he will pick you off all day. Patrick Peterson will feast on you if you have bad route running. And if he is going to be the #1 receiver from now on for the Titans, he is going to have to fix that.
Can you ask James if he's doing the battle series mock?
Yeah, I'll ask in a minute.
Well, yeah, you think about who he's actually going to be going up against in his division. I mean, you got him going up against, who is that, Kareem Jackson in Houston.
Kareem Jackson in Houston.
You got him going up against Jalen Ramsey in Jacksonville. Like, you really don't have many people in Indianapolis, but, I mean, they did draft a couple people, so...
Yeah,
I mean,
they picked up Malik Hooker.
Yeah. So I mean, definitely, it's going to be one of those things that you're really going to see what he's made of. But out of everybody in the draft for wide receivers, though, I think he is the #1.
Puppy.
Yeah. So James, what do you think?
Well, first of all, when I heard Corey Davis was drafted, I thought he was Dalvin Cook, and I was like, when did he switch to receiver? And then now that you've told me the story, I didn't know the struggles that he's gone through, and I actually kind of feel bad for the guy, but I'm also proud at the same time that he's overcome and faced so much. And then when you said he had bad route running, all I thought in my head was Kevin White when he screwed up in Chicago. And I was like, that could be a problem.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, what I've been told from you guys is he's got good hands, but I mean, good hands could also be a problem too in some situations.
True. Yes.
Yeah, if all you got's hands, then you don't really got much.
That's true. And that's why you also got to work on your route running, your skills, and how to like just expand a little bit. All he needs to do is expand a little bit more, and he could be a top-notch receiver like Antonio Brown and Julio Jones and AJ Green and stuff. And I mean, if Josh Gordon would stay off the lead, he could be a top-notch receiver too. But I mean, hey,
Stay off the
it all depends on what you do with your life in the NFL too. I mean, he has the chance to like make up for that lost time with that homeless stuff, but I mean, that all depends on how he does and deals with his life.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That's all I gotta say, man.
So that actually takes us to the 6th overall pick, and something that truly shocked me. Like, I did not. This is where it started with Trubisky, but this one truly shocked me with the way the Jets went when they took Jamal Adams. Like, I did not see that coming. I was wow. Like, I was like, whoa, like, really? I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. So, we're talking about Jamal Adams, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, in my opinion, second best safety in the draft. Definitely the most physical safety in the draft. Probably the most physical secondary player in the draft.
Which is probably why they took him.
Yeah, he definitely fits that run first, that run stuff type defense that the Jets have become so famous for with Muhammad Wilkerson down there. You know what I mean? With all these great defensive players, they've got Darren Lee down there. They've got Darrelle Revis. They've got all these guys who are really run first players, and that really. The addition of Jamal Adams, not really gonna be a pass coverage threat. He does have a lot of good scouting ability. Let's say like he's very good at locating the ball, but really doesn't have the finishing skills. It's like a linebacker. Like he can hawk the ball all day, but he just struggles to catch it.
Yeah. No, I
can
definitely see
that's his only downside as a secondary player in the league. If you cannot finish that play off, you're going to struggle to stay as a starter, because all it takes is a dude to be as physical as you and have a little bit of hands.
Because that's all they need. It's just
all they need is a dude that can hit and
hands.
catch. They need an Earl Thomas. But really, if his downside is that he struggles to catch the ball, but he's really physical, then I mean that's really not a bad thing. I'd rather have a physical safety than a guy who can catch. But that is his downside, the fact that he struggles to catch the ball.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. James, where are you at?
Oh snap! My turn. Okay. I know nothing about this guy, like at all, except that he came out of LSU and he's a safety. I think like Jabril Peppers may be more athletic than him, but like I'm not gonna get into Jabril Peppers yet. So basically, to me, what he sounds like is Patrick Peterson with no hands.
Yeah.
That's basically what he sounds like, a Pat Pete with no hands, and that could be a problem. I mean, he's got the height, he's got the deflecting skills, but if you can't catch that, like, if you deflect it, like, I've done this multiple times, I've deflected it, and the ball still goes into the guy's hands, like, that's not a follow-through, that's not a finish. Like, honestly, like,
that is my channel.
You need some work in progress.
Yeah.
That's about it, like, I mean, if you can't follow through, then what good are you to the team?
No, I definitely agree with the whole hands comment. He also, Pax, you and I were talking earlier about who the Packers picked up in the second round as far as what's his name?
The dude from
John Jones.
Yeah.
Or Josh Jones.
Yeah.
Like really physical guy, but like
sort of a panhand.
Yeah. So, I kind of look at him the same way. Like you got the coverage skills down, but you really need to work on your ball handling skills.
Yeah, definitely, I agree.
It was actually surprising because I actually thought they were gonna go with either a defensive lineman or an outside linebacker. But they actually went with this pick, so I was just like, wow, that was something else.
Yeah. I just can't wait for the 10th pick, because that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite picks in the first round.
Oh, I know. Which brings us to the 7th, though, and this was also another like little shocking one to me, because I actually thought that Mike Williams was going to go to the Bills, and I thought the Chargers themselves were going to draft Malik Hooker. But literally, with them coming out drafting Mike Williams, it really says a lot with what they feel Keenan Allen, where Keenan Allen is at, because he hasn't been healthy the last couple of years.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna say that Mike Williams, his play style is the definition of a two-edged sword. And the reason I say that is because he is every offensive coordinator's dream in the term of he is the most physical wide receiver I think I've ever seen.
Agreed.
He is willing to go up and get any 50-50 ball, which is a big thing at Clemson because Deshaun Watson, everybody knows he liked to throw him.
Hell yeah.
I will say fuck real quick because I just screwed up in my game. But whatever. Exactly. But the reason I say it's a two-edged sword is because he has a lot of health concerns.
Yes.
In the 2 years ago, he broke his C6 vertebrae, which effectively, if it was which could have ended his career.
Yes.
Hell, it could have ended his life if it was worse than it was. But because it was a clean break, he was able to play football again, and he made a huge comeback, like a comeback better than AP, comeback better than Brent Grimes, a comeback on a profound religious level. But his physicality could be his downfall if he is not able to keep himself healthy.
Agreed.
Antonio Brown, I swear.
James.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Oh yeah. My turn. I mean, Antonio Brown kind of just scored on me. I'm kind of a little bit triggered about that.
It's okay. The Saints defense has been giving me hell because I've been focused on this and not the game.
Mike Williams, what he sounds like to me, well, considering there's like 5 names of those in the NFL, like, that have ever existed.
Right.
He sounds like he's what Cooper Manning could have been, but wasn't, because Cooper Manning was told he could never play football again. Mike Williams, he has the opportunity to play football. He has the chance to go pro, and I think he will actually be worth it. Gosh dang it, Lions, he could be worth it, like, compared to anyone else. Like, I think he should have been, like, probably the #1 pick, because, I mean, he's talented, he's got the hands, he's made a comeback. That tells you he's a trooper right there. Like, he will do anything, and he won't stop until he gets what he wants done. That's basically how I see him.
Yeah, I agree.
Down David Johnson.
Okay, so how do you feel about him, Dustin?
The guy's got talent. I mean, obviously, he wouldn't be a #1 wide receiver for Clemson if he didn't. He wouldn't be a reliable target, if he wasn't that for them. But I think he's a first-round talent. I just don't think he's, how do you say that? I don't think he's a top. I mean, I think he might be a borderline top 15 pick, but I think they reached for him because within the top 10, you're expecting this guy to be an elite starting #1 wide receiver. And
Yeah,
I think,
you're
like,
expecting him to be a day 1 starter.
Yeah, but I think he's a #2. I think he's a guy that you start in the nickel and you move him over to. Oh, that was a nice hit.
Hi,
Move him
Raekwon.
over to his second.
Love you too, Hayden.
That's why I thought that, like, he would be going to the Bills because the Bills already have Sammy Watkins. So you pair Mike Williams up in the #2 spot to Sammy Watkins, and you got a deadly duo right there.
Yeah, you really do. That would put the Bills on top of close to the top of their division. Obviously, they're going to struggle in that division either way, but. Okay, so now we're going on to pick 8.
I'm a little salty about this one because this one I said up one side and down the other, and you and Brad can both stand behind this one when I say it, because I had Christian McCaffrey going 29 to my Green Bay Packers.
Yes, you did. You said it, so you were blue in the
thought
face.
several times, yes. I didn't think he would go this high. I don't know. Maybe they don't believe in Jonathan Stewart like they say they do, and they just needed somebody to come in that could actually pound the rock. But at the same time, because he does have a very similar running style to Le'Veon Bell, but I think that they also need somebody spark that mid-range game in the passing offense, like moving him out into the slot and making him go slants. I think you're going to see a lot of screens out of him, and you're going to see a lot of slants out of him. And that's really, he's going to be that hybrid running back wide receiver, because God knows you can only throw it up to Kelvin Benjamin so many times a game.
Kelvin Benjamin and Ted Ginn.
Yeah, you don't have Philly Brown anymore, so you just lost your slot guy. So it's literally Christian McCaffrey's offense at this point. That he's going to be literally the main one. 1B is going to be Christian McCaffrey. But I'm very, very salty about this because, God damn it, I saw him going to my Packers, and he was going to do the same damn thing for us. So I'm very, very, I'm so upset about this.
Okay, so I am actually going to completely disagree with what you said about him, because I do not think that that the Panthers have lost any faith in Stewart. And I say that because I do not believe that they have any intention of playing Christian McCaffrey at running back.
So you think they're going to convert him straight over to wide receiver?
I think they're going to say you are now our wide receiver and our kicker and our punt returner. They're literally going to hand him they're literally, instead of his jersey saying McCaffrey, it's going to say Hester. Because that's exactly what he is going to be. He is going to be the new Devin Hester.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious. I love that.
Because that is the style they're going to play him as. They're going to have him in the slot. He's going to catch slant routes. He's going to get demolished repeatedly. And he is going to take it, eat it like a T-bone steak, and then he's going to go punt return and going to score. And he's going to be, in my opinion, one of the better wide receivers in the draft. And people didn't put him in the slot as a good wide receiver in the draft because everybody's been worried about what about his injury concerns running through tight gaps in the NFL. You don't have to worry about him running through tight gaps in the NFL because he's never gonna meet Ndamukong Suh in the middle, because he's not gonna run the ball down there. He is going to be a wide receiver. And if
I didn't even think about that. You're absolutely right.
If the Carolina Panthers get him hurt by running him up the middle, then they are the reason his career gets hurt. What do you think, James? Yeah.
Okay. So I'm the middle ground right here. I mean, like, Christian McCaffrey, he could play receiver and he could be a running back. Oh my gosh, no. I hate Jordy Nelson. Okay, anyways. Christian McCaffrey, son of Ed McCaffrey, who's a wide receiver for the Broncos. I think that, like, the Panthers, they need a slot receiver. I mean, what are they going to do? Like, put in Devin Funches, and who's going to be their second tight end? Like, honestly.
Oh, hell no, yeah.
So, like, Christian McCaffrey, they could put him at receiver. Or he could be the receiving back that they need, like Giovanni Bernard. I mean, Jonathan Stewart, I wouldn't trust him in my life. Shoot, like, that guy can't run worth nothing, in my opinion. So, like, I mean, I don't know. They might...
If it's not a 3-yard halfback dive.
They will try to force him to be a receiver, and then he's going to be like, no, I want to start my own legacy. I don't want to continue in my dad's footsteps. I want to be who I say I want to be. And then there's just going to be that whole controversy and distribution in between him either being a receiver or running back. And in the end, I think it'll all come down to his skills on where he's better at.
I agree.
Oh, I definitely agree with that.
Look at James put in some intellect into the conversation.
Hell yeah, I like it. I do kind of agree with his mindset because his dad is like, and you can argue about this. You can definitely say he's top 2 Broncos wide receivers of all time, and you can actually like argue whether it's him or Rod Smith.
Yeah.
But like literally, you have that legacy basically hanging over you. So I can understand why he would want to stay a running back, but I can also understand like if he embraced that and actually went with the wide receiver role. Like I personally, I would, because we're in the day and age of you have LaShawn McCoy, you like Marshall Faulk started it, and you have people like LaShawn McCoy and Le'Veon Bell to where they will run for 1,000 yards and they will catch for 1,000 yards.
Yeah,
so
they're just receivers. It's either a receiver who can truck or a running back who can catch.
Yeah. I
Either
don't
way you
want to
put
see
it.
him. I just don't want to see him make the same mistake as Tim Tebow, and literally like, I'm only gonna play in the NFL if I play as a running back. Like, I hope he has enough sense to be like, no one wants
me
you as a
where
running
I
back,
put it.
so play as a wide receiver, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm totally salty about this pick. Like, no. He was supposed to be our running back.
Okay, so where are we at? We're at pick 9?
We're at pick 9. We're almost... Brad's trying to find his controller right now, he just said. So pick 9, we actually have a very surprising pick. I was shocked by this, simply because of who they already have on the damn depth chart, right? So the Bengals come in and snatch John Ross right off the motherfucking board.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Who is the Bengals' second string receiver?
Mohamed Sanu Sr.
Mohamed Sanu.
Incorrect, because he plays for the Falcons now.
Oh shit. No. Oh fuck,
Brandon
he
Lassell.
does.
Brandon Lassell.
And they got
Lassell.
and they got rid of fuck, what's his name? Marvin
Brandon
Jones.
Lassell.
I forgot
They don't
about
have
that.
Marvin Jones anymore. They
Yeah,
played
he's
last year.
playing for the Lions.
The Bengals made the playoffs with Mohamed Sanu. The Bengals don't make the
LaFell,
playoffs
it's-
without Mohamed Sanu.
It's LaFell.
Yeah, and so if you had to pick between the two, would you pick LaFell or Sanu?
I would pick Sanu.
Yeah, everybody would. Because he's a dominant, quick receiver with hands, and that is the slot that they are taking John Ross to fill. Because the reason they missed the playoffs was for no reason other than they didn't have anybody to take the attention away from AJ Green.
Agreed.
And
Yes.
that is the whole reason why they picked him up. They could care less about the fact that he ran a 4.22. He was the best receiver on the board. If Ross would have been picked up and Corey Davis would have been picked up and Mike Williams was the only receiver left on the board, was the best receiver on the board, they would have picked Mike Williams. If Corey Davis was the best receiver on the board, they would have picked Corey Davis. It did not have any relevancy to the fact that it was John Ross. It was just a fact that they needed a receiver to make AJ Green's job easier because he's going to be 29 next year. And he's going to need a little bit more help than he has in the past.
Agreed.
It did not matter. They did not look for a player. They looked for a position.
I can definitely see that.
But talking about the player himself, talking about. Okay, so is everybody good? Is everybody?
Add Brad to the party.
Go to party screen. Invite players. Yeah. Talking about him as a player, though. Obviously everybody knows 4.22 speed. Unreal. Definitely an amazing athlete.
Yes.
A little bit of an injury concern because, well, he did pull his hamstring a little bit. Don't really care about that.
Yeah.
My big injury concern with him is he has had an ACL tear.
Hi, motherfuckers. May Buddha be with you.
May Buddha be with you. We're gonna get to that. Trust me. All right. So, do you have anything to add to this, James, before we jump over to our latest addition to the party?
I actually do. I am salty because I wanted John Ross to go to the Saints to fill in for Brandon Cooks, because you know.
I thought that was gonna happen.
Western speed receiver. And so
He
I
got
was
taken
like,
really high up.
The only concern was he ran himself into an injury like at the end of this 40 time, but hey, he's fast. His hands, I don't know, that might be questionable. It all depends on like how good he does against the cornerbacks in the NFL. But I mean, overall, I thought he could have been like our number 2 receiver or slot receiver, because we have Ted Ginn now, we have Willie Snead, and we have Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas is obviously going to be our number 1. Willie Snead, we picked him up from the free agency. He was like drafted by Cleveland and dropped immediately. He's like freaking 40, so like no one cares about him anymore. And that's why I was like, John Ross, yeah, he's like perfect fit. I also like thought Christian McCaffrey was gonna go to the Saints if John Ross wasn't, but I mean it's kind of too late for that. So yeah, I was like hoping John Ross would go there because he's got deadly speed, and plus Drew Brees, he said, get this team on track before you figure out my next contract. Like those were his legit words.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so if you get him a good receiver, or at least a deadly speed receiver, like Drew Brees can put another 5,000 yards and then be closer to beating Peyton Manning's record in passing yards. But I guess that's not gonna happen. Like, I mean, that's all I gotta say is I'm a little salty about that.
All right, so finally joining us is the one and only
sliding in at the critic table.
So, what do you think about John Ross going to the Bengals, Param?
I think it's an awesome pick, dude, because you pair up John Ross with AJ Green, and dude, that's like, you can either hit him deep or you can hit him on slant. Like, there's so much diversity now for the squad. I reckon it's an awesome pickup. Like, when I seen that he was taken, what was it, like 6th or 9th or something?
9.
Like, it was pretty early on.
We're on the 9th pick.
Ninth.
Yeah, dude, when I seen that, I was like, whoa, like, they took him really, really high up. But obviously they have plans for him to take him that high because he wasn't meant to go at 9, right?
No, like, that's why I thought exactly what James thought, which was he's going to go lower first round, probably to the Saints or some team like that needs like a slot, really quick guy. So I didn't even think about the Bengals, though. I really didn't. I was just like, oh shit, okay, but this makes sense.
The whole time in the draft, I completely disregarded the fact that the Bengals needed a first-round receiver. I was thinking they would pick up someone in the 2nd round. I was thinking they would pick up like a later-round player, because I thought that they were going to pick up a linebacker in the 1st round. I thought they were going to pick up... I thought they were going to be the guys to pick up Hassan Reddick.
I thought it was going to be Reuben Foster myself.
I thought they would be the guys to pick up Hassan Reddick from Temple.
Yeah.
And then we got him. Jeez.
Yeah, right? You guys got him.
I was so upset.
He's a good player, but
like, not upset with him, not upset with the player. I was just upset because the Texans slid in our DMs and fucking took him. Deshaun Watson.
slid in the fucking DMs. Okay, so
like, Deshaun had Cardinal written all over him, bro.
Oh, yeah. Dude, and they were picking 13th, and I was just like, yep, you already know who they're gonna pick.
Oh yeah, dude, that's why Texans were like, oh shit, let's just bust their balls and go trade up.
Let's just bust their balls real quick.
So, getting back on the issue of quarterback, Pax, since this is your number one, oh my god, pick, why don't you lead this shit off and talk all about it?
Okay, so we're obviously talking about number 10, talking about Patrick Mahomes going to, where did he go to again? I can't remember off the top of my head. It's getting late at night. Chiefs, that's where he went.
Kansas City.
Okay, so he went to Kansas City. I completely love this pick, and I think that Andy Reid is probably the happiest coach in the NFL right now. And I say that because Andy Reid specializes in QBs. And if you take a dude that comes from, the dude that's like been called a system quarterback, it doesn't matter if he's called a system quarterback because he all being said is the best quarterback in Texas Tech history. He has the most passing yards in Texas Tech history, most passing touchdowns in Texas Tech history. He is registered as throwing a 60 mile per hour NFL size football, and he is also registered as throwing the ball 78 yards.
I'm going to interrupt you on this because there was a comparison that literally was made by Stephen A. Smith today regarding that pick, and he said Andy Reid picked a quarterback who has an attitude problem, a discipline problem, has the strongest arm out of the whole entire draft, is very, very headstrong, and literally he said, what quarterback does that remind you of that Andy Reid worked with? Andy Reid developed. What quarterback? Anybody?
No.
Nah? One Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Oh.
Literally, this is Andy Reid's dream right here.
Andy Reid loves the tough nuts.
He does.
My upside to...
He's like, you said tough nuts.
I was just like, okay. Oh.
You know what I mean. He loves the guys that are a little bit rough around the edges.
He does, yes.
And when I see Pat Mahomes, I see a dude who has a cannon for an arm, and I also see that Derek Carr just got injured. Fuck my life. Okay, but anyways, I see a dude who has a little bit of an issue with footwork. I think someone was talking to Dustin about that earlier. He likes to drop back way too far on shotgun passes where you're supposed to be dropping back around 5 yards. He likes to go 7 to 9. Which makes the throw that much harder. He likes to throw really flat-footed, which takes a lot of the velocity off the ball, which makes for easy picks.
Who's this?
Pat Mahomes.
Pat Mahomes.
He also, but he has a lot of athletic potential. He's very creative. He reminds me a little bit of like, not to the level of Michael Vick, but maybe to the level of Aaron Rodgers. Like the gunslinger who can run the ball if he has to.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to go after Aaron Rodgers, he knows how to get the fuck away from you, even though he's not that fast himself. Like, he knows how to get the fuck away from the lineman and the D lineman.
Yes, definitely. But, one thing I will say about Pat Mahomes, if you watch his highlights aren't just him making one kind of throw like Deshaun Watson. Every single highlight of him making throws is him throwing the ball up deep to Mike Williams, and Mike Williams catching this 50-50 ball in the end zone.
Ask him if anybody can hear this.
Yeah.
No one can hear him. But if you watch the highlights of Pat Mahomes, he is making any play. He'll be throwing the ball across the field. He'll be throwing the ball down the field. lateral, horizontal, like lateral, vertical, diagonal, any way that he has to get the ball off, he is going to be making the play, and that's what I like about him.
Right.
So what do y'all think?
Brad, what are your thoughts?
On Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
I would like to make one more statement. He turned down a deal from the Arizona Diamondbacks to play pro baseball.
So literally another Russell Wilson.
So he's also at the talent level of Russell Wilson, or dare I say it, he also is technically in the same boat of Colin Kaepernick, which, I mean, we don't like to talk good about Colin Kaepernick, but he did technically have the chance to play for the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah.
But he turned it down so he could play football.
Yeah. So, since Parham is learning about the player right now, James, do you have anything to add?
I mean, I kind of know that he's, like, not a person that has the best attitude. I mean, like, when he did that, how fast he can throw thing with Derek Carr, I mean, he kind of cheated. He threw it, like, clean out the stadium just to get enough ahead away from, like, Derek Carr to make him look like he can throw better. But, I mean...
Not Derek Carr, David Carr.
It all depends on the decisions you make. Derek, David, same thing. They're brothers. Didn't harm them. And I mean, like, David Carr just came off of surgery too, and if he's like really on par with Pat Mahomes and he's like freaking 40, I mean that kind of says a lot. Like, I mean, is he really throwing that fast, or is he just like trying to prove something to the public just to be pleased? Much about him, I know he's from Texas. I hate practically every Texas team. I don't focus on Texas. So, I mean, maybe he'll be good. Maybe he'll be a bust. I don't know. He'll be probably like a good starter as soon as Andy Dalton, Alex Smith retires. And overall, I think he has potential. He has potential to be like a good quarterback, like one who will be like Brett Favre probably, because Andy Reid, knowing him, you can turn anybody from like a bust to a good player. Like, remember Nick Foles? I sure do. Andy Reid turned him into that thing. I think. Yep. Or was that a different? Yeah, that was Andy Reid.
That was Andy Reid.
That was Nick Foles and Andy Reid. Yep.
And now that Nick Foles is back in Philly, I think he won't be the same because Andy Reid's gone.
Yep. Much like Kevin Kolb and Dominic McNabb before him, it's Andy Reid. He knows how to develop his quarterbacks.
Yep.
So, James, why don't you, since you're a Saints fan, go into the number 11 pick then?
Marshawn Lattimore?
Yep.
Okay, since like John Ross was gone, because I thought he was gonna go there. Since Christian McCaffrey's gone, because but then again they got Adrian Peterson now, but that's kind of competition because Mark Ingram's on his last year, and normally he turns up whenever he wants a contract. So I mean, yeah. So I was like, okay, we actually need a corner. We got Marshawn Lattimore, best corner out of the entire draft, in my opinion. He's worth it. He can lock people down. He can get nice, rough and dirty. I mean, he's just like the perfect pick at cornerback. Like, I am so happy. I'm praising this guy. I think the Saints have a chance of actually going to the playoffs again based on their picks in this draft. Like, I mean, Carolina, what are they going to do?
It's still a hard division.
I agree with that.
It's a hard division.
What's the Buccaneers going to do? Oh wait, they got O.J. Howard.
The Buccaneers have a really good team.
What are the Falcons gonna do? Last year, the Panthers...
Look at the Jaguars, bro. First two picks, Leonard Fournette, and then take an offensive lineman straight after that.
Yeah,
well,
they're setting up something right there.
That's definitely setting something up.
Like,
I feel like they might be building... I feel like they might be building after a new player instead of, whatever his name was. QB bust of the century.
Agreed.
So like, Marshawn Lattimore, yep, he's gonna make the Saints great again. Because I mean, what are like the Panthers? They went to the Super Bowl 1 year, and then they became a bust team the next year. I have a feeling the same thing will happen to Atlanta. Like, they went to the Super Bowl that year, lost, and then they're going to be a bust. So that might leave the opportunity for the Buccaneers and the Saints to actually move up and might make it to the playoffs. And I think Marshawn Lattimore would be that cornerback to prove that.
Okay.
So
I agree.
if no one really has anything to add to the Lattimore one, because I do kind of agree with that one.
I sort of
really
do.
Okay, because after you get done talking, I really want to jump to Parham's thoughts on the 12th pick overall.
Okay.
So, what
My
are your thoughts, Max?
My thoughts, because obviously I have to put my thoughts in on him because Marshawn Lattimore, Ohio State. I'm an Ohio State fan. Buck-eye-nutz is in my name. It's just something I have to talk about. From someone who watched every single Ohio State game, I can tell you his biggest strength is his ability to scope for the ball. His biggest weakness is man coverage. If this dude gets lined up against someone shifty, this dude is going to get killed by Demaryius Thomas or by Mohamed Sanu because he has no ability to keep the receiver in front of him. He has the worst habit of letting the receiver get behind him, and then at that point it is almost a 90-10%, like a 90 to 10% coin flip that he is going to commit pass interference because he has no ability to keep the play in front of him. And as a corner, you have to be able to do that in man coverage, but that's his only downside. This is man coverage. Everything else he's great at.
Okay. So with that, Parham, the floor is yours.
Yeah.
How about that 12th overall pick?
I've actually eat a fat dick, Dustin. How about that?
That's why I did it.
So basically, yeah, that pick, like when I seen that the Browns were there, I was like, okay, this could go 50-50. More than likely, Deshaun Watson is gone. More than likely, yes. But the Browns are the Browns, and they are going to make stupid fucking mistakes in situations like this when Deshaun Watson is on the board. That's when the Cardinals are going to slip up. Next thing I know, I'm getting 1,000,001 Snapchats while I'm waiting for this, seeing people say, oh, the Texans. I'm like, oh my god, you have to be fucking kidding me. So, yeah, the next thing you know, the Texans pop up on my screen, and before I know it, Deshaun Watson is gone. And right then is when I kind of just lost a lot of hope, because I was like, okay, we need a quarterback. But I know from reading the pre-draft scouting report for the Cardinals, like, war room, they were saying, if we can't get a quarterback, we're going to take a linebacker. So I'm like, okay, let's look at the linebackers. I'm like, honestly, I don't even know who this guy is. Like this, what was it, the guy that we drafted?
Hassan Reddick.
Yeah. So when he got drafted was the first time I'd ever seen anything from him. So I'm like, okay, he looks alright. I mean, people were putting, half the community was torn on Twitter. Like, people were saying, are you guys fucking blind? The other half was saying, oh my god, I'm so excited. Like, I didn't know what to make of it. But it's all good, because now we have Buda Baker, and now we have the most dynamic secondary in the entire NFL, no doubt, with Tyrann and Buda Baker. Absolutely. Like, you can slide him into cornerback. Like, we have so much potential in the secondary. It is ridiculous right now.
Okay. So,
fully fucking agreed.
Are we talking about Deshaun Watson?
He just kind of transitioned right into the next pick, and you know what? His response to me was perfect. So I don't even know if we need to say anything, but yeah, like they're killing it on defense as far as this draft goes. Like, wow.
Are you talking about the Cardinals or?
The Cardinals, like, literally, you go back to back doing Hassan Reddick right into Buda Baker, who you can honestly say has strong middle first round potential. So it's like,
yeah, well, I was surprised. I thought Buda had been taken because I woke up late today and I missed the majority of the draft. So I was like, oh shit, I don't know what the hell was going on. People saying, oh, you got Buddha Baker. I was like, what? Like, I've been hearing so many positive things about this guy. So, yeah, dude, hella excited. Like, I'm gonna have to go get a Buddha jersey, no doubt. It's Tyrone and Buddha Baker. With Pat Pete, like, oh, dude.
Yeah,
That's
my
a sexy
only
secondary.
downfall to Deshaun Watson is the amount of interceptions he throws. And
The guy likes to take chances.
especially in big situations, he likes to throw 50-50 balls, just tosses it up to Mike Williams or to that short-ass white dude they've got.
Hey, do you guys think as well, just so I can try and add on to this, do you guys think that if somebody throws 20 interceptions in college, they'll throw like 25 in the NFL? So do you think it translates worse when you go to the NFL?
No, I literally, when someone's willing to take a chance like that, it reminds me, I mean, not to sound like a broken record, because I'm a Packers fan and I fucking worship the ground that Favre walks on, but literally when you have Mahomes, when you have a Watson, when you have a guy that's willing to put his faith in you as a receiver, and he's like, I'm just going to throw it up, and it's up to you to fucking come down with it.
Yeah,
at that
definitely.
Point, like, I don't really think it's on him at that point. I think with a guy that's willing to do that, it's on the receiver. Like, so if you're willing to throw it up, you might throw 4 interceptions in a game, but how many of those interceptions are your fucking fault? Most of the time, Watson is making a ballsy fucking play, and he understands that it's going to go one way or the other. It's not like he's throwing it into coverage, and he knows, like, oh shit, I can't fit it in this window, but I'm going to try anyways. So, I don't think, like, it's, like, yeah, he's probably going to throw a lot of interceptions in the NFL, but I don't think that's, like, going to be a negative side to the kind of player that he is.
I can see what you're saying. I agree when you're talking about 50-50 plays, but when you're known for making a lot of 60-40 and 70-30 plays...
Yeah. No, I get that.
Like if you go back and watch the tape of him playing against Florida State, or against Louisville, or even against Troy is the prime example. If you want to teach a secondary how to dismantle a quarterback, you watch Troy's secondary play against Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Because they had his number. They had his number all game. And they were able to scope him out and trick him into throwing passes. And if Troy's corners are able to do that, then think about what NFL level corners are going to be able to do.
Yeah. Agreed. It could go either way with him, honestly. But I think he's going to probably be the surprise of the draft. I think he's actually going to come out and do a good job. He might not, obviously, they're probably going to start Tom Savage
a couple of weeks
next year. Yeah. But I honestly believe
really think they'll start Tom Savage?
Yeah.
for the first little bit.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, because
I guess it
Bill-
depends a lot on preseason too.
Because Bill literally, like, he's obsessed with Tom Savage for some reason. He loves the guy. And he thinks that he can turn Tom Savage into, like, the best quarterback ever. So I think that they're going to give Tom Savage the benefit of the doubt to actually start the season. But I think if they get in a hole, and I think they are going to get into a hole, they're going to turn to Deshaun.
They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose to the Jaguars, and they're gonna be like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, then it's gonna be like, oh, we
That
gotta
won't be
do
their
this
fault
now.
though. That'll just be the Jaguars being a fucking good team.
Yeah,
In my opinion.
Because literally the Jaguars are trending that way right now.
Well, the
Oh,
Jaguars.
yeah, they're building the best pieces, bro. They are
The Jaguars,
building
they
one
do it
piece at a
every
time.
year. Last year, like the last draft, they had Jalen Ramsey. The draft before
yeah.
that, they had T.J. Yeldon. they pick up these big pieces every year. They had Broyles or whatever his name is, the quarterback. I don't even like him. Bortles, Blake Bortles. Dude should go play soccer for as many times as he throws the ball at his receiver's ankles.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
Shots fired.
they pick up all these big pieces, but they don't get any better. And I feel like they're just going to stay that way for a while.
No,
Maybe with Coughlin going back to the management, they'll go back to being able to lead the AFC South like they did, being AFC champions a couple of years in a row. Back when Coughlin was their head coach, maybe having some of that dynasty back there in the leadership position will help them out. But I really think they're just going to be bad for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So, we're still talking about Deshaun Watson?
Yeah.
Okay, because I have a lot to say about him.
Alright, go ahead.
I think...
First of all, did you say Deshaun Watson?
Sure.
Okay, that's what I thought you said.
Deshaun.
I thought he said Deshaun Watson, and I was like, that's awesome.
I should start calling him that now, Deshaun Watson. I think, to be honest, he's gonna
One
be a
sec,
bust.
you're not in the loop on this, Brad, but the first, like, 6 picks, he, like, completely fucked their names up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Wait, isn't it Solomon?
He was like Solomon Thompson.
Oh, okay.
It was hilarious.
Yeah,
It was funny.
I think Deshaun Watson's gonna be a bust. I mean, honestly, Tom Savage, I always thought he was gonna be the Texans franchise quarterback because he was there to save them out of the drought when they had that, like, 5 quarterback conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy theory. I love that.
It was always Tom Savage who got him out of the loop.
That is true, that is true.
I always thought Tom Savage was that one guy who, like, should have got the starting job but never did. And with Deshaun Watson being there, I think Tom Savage will actually start for one season just to see where he's at. And if they like him,
Okay.
they're just gonna bench Watson, and that could lead to his whole career being a bust. But if Tom Savage doesn't feel, I still think he's gonna be a bust. Because, like, honestly, the interception ratio, I mean, it's not gonna cut out for Houston. I mean, Houston's one of those teams that want to be back at the top, not just like, we need these guys to survive. I mean, they've been doing pretty good with like 5 quarterbacks, going 9-7 and making the playoffs. I mean, like, it all depends on, will Deshaun Watson perform, or will they not give him a chance to progress?
Okay. I can see that.
I will say though about the Texans, if there is a team that you want Deshaun Watson to go to, you want him to go to the Texans, because you don't really have to worry about interceptions with the Texans, because Brock motherfucking Osweiler throws. Yeah, right. Like, he throws more interceptions than anybody I can think of, but they still managed to make it to the playoffs, and they still managed to lead the AFC South, which last year was sort of like a gold trash bag on top of a bunch of slightly less pretty trash bags.
I love that. Careful with what you say though, Pax, because you're saying that his best option was going to the Texans. I think Parham just said for me to suck a dick, because he said that his best option would have been the Cardinals for Watson.
If you're talking,
I mean, anybody's going to be injured than a Carson Palmer with a broken leg in week 2. So
That's fucking true. Yeah, that is true.
that is,
what, who's going to step? Drew Stanton? Drew Stanton's going to lead us?
I'm saying
Oh,
if you
yeah,
want,
I can't wait to see Drew Stanton come out there.
I'm saying
Far
if
out,
you're
man.
if you
Drew
are
Stanton's a bitch.
if you are looking at if you are just like if you're looking at it from like Deshaun Watson's like grandpa's point of view, like a dude who literally just wants to see him succeed, if you are literally just looking for the player to succeed, then the Texans is where you want to go, because he will start immediately, because fuck Tom Savage.
Oh man, that's messed up.
and he will throw 8 picks in his first game, but they'll win because he throws 600 yards to DeAndre Hopkins and Braxton Miller, and they're going to get it done because he's going to take a lot of risks. He's going to throw it to Federowicz. He's going to have a lot of options. He's going to give Lamar Miller the ball, and they're going to get it done that way, and the Texans are going to be at the top of the AFC South again next year. And they're going to...
Very weak division, to be honest.
Well,
like, not to hate, but I'm just saying the AFC South isn't exactly
like you said, the Titans, like you said, the Jaguars are up and coming, and the Titans were 1 game away from playoff contention.
Mariota did get injured, so...
The Titans were 1 game away from playoff contention last year.
Hold on. Guys, but y'all don't realize is the Titans and Texans were 9 and 7. The Titans won their last game, and Houston did not. So why didn't the Titans go to the playoffs?
The Titans finished 8-8.
They finished 9 and 7.
I promise they finished 8-8. If they would have finished 9 and 7, then they would have made it to the playoffs instead of the Texans.
I know by heart that they went 9 and 7.
If they would have finished 9 and 7, then they would have gone into the playoffs instead of the Texans, because they beat the Texans, and they beat the Texans both times they met them regular season.
All right, someone look this stuff up so we can settle this. In the meantime, let's skip over the Eagles pick, because who the fuck cares who Derek Barnett is? I don't. I hate Tennessee. So
he did tie the sack record with Reggie White. And I mean, holding company with Reggie White's a big deal.
I like picks like Jonathan Allen and Solomon Thomas better than Derek Barnett. So.
Okay, here's the standing for the Titans division. The Texans went 9 and 7. The Titans went 9 and 7. The Colts went 8 and 8.
Okay, so I stand corrected. I stand corrected.
And you pronounced DJ Fedorowitz's name wrong. You said Fedorowicz, and I thought it was like Fjordowitz or something like that. Like, honestly, we need to get our names.
Just call him Whip.
Okay, you called him Solomon. You called a dude Solomon Thompson. I think we're both. I think we're fair.
We're getting very off topic here.
Yeah,
okay.
Oh, Miles Garrett.
All right. So, what I actually want to jump to though is the shocker to me of this whole thing, and that is the Colts' actual pick, because I thought Malik Hooker was going to go 7 to the Chargers. Like, I honestly thought they were going to replace Weddle with Hooker, and that be that. So, what do you guys think?
Malik Hooker's obviously my favorite safety in the draft because Ohio State. But from a physical standpoint, he misses too many open field tackles. But I mean, if you get him to a team where he is going to be able to where he won't have to really worry about tackles, then he'll be successful. The sad thing is the downside is he went to the Colts, so that's definitely going to be an issue for him.
Yes.
Because let's face it, right now the Colts defense looks like sponges wrapped up in duct tape right now.
They're hot trash.
Yeah. Like not even hot trash, they're like sort of like lukewarm.
Okay.
Like he is going to struggle because he is going to have to focus way too much on the run for him to be executed where Ohio State loved to execute him, and that was in his 7 interceptions, 5 for pick sixes on the season. And if he's not able to focus on that, then Gino putting his comment down right now is exactly what I was about to say. If he can't help them out soon, the Colts are going to be the next Browns.
Well, they went 8-8 last season, though, so I mean, they're kind of not the Browns.
They went what?
Yeah, the Browns are more 1-15 type caliber team.
Yeah, that's true.
More Detroit Lions pre-Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, 0-16.
Yeah.
It's impressive that you could be that bad.
Like, honestly.
Like, you have to try really hard to suck that bad.
Like, teams say that they don't fucking throw the season, but they fucking throw the season. There's no way you can go in 16 and not throw a fucking season.
Well,
Hashtag sub-reload league.
Run it out of his own end zone. Like, honestly, he was like at the 1 yard line and he like ran clean out of the end zone.
Okay, so the rest of this.
Wait, I want to say something.
Go
The
ahead.
lead kicker. The only reason why I don't see him as a good safety is because he's not white. I mean, there's Eric Weddle, there are some good black people, but I mean, they're hard hitters. This guy misses wide open tackles, so he's not like Tyrann Mathieu, who I think is white. He might be Mexican, I don't know.
No, he's mixed.
He's not like Eric Weddle. He's not
mixed,
like Eric Reed. Or I think he's black too.
Eric Reed is black.
He's not like D'Angelo Hall. Oh, he's black.
Okay.
I feel like this comment should have. I feel like you should have looked at pictures of these guys before you
commented.
because you're like Eric Reed. No wait, never mind. He's black.
That's what I'm saying. I should focus more than like trying to sleep while I'm having
Go to bed.
control.
You're drunk.
Right. Shave your head, go to sleep.
I'm drunk, but I'm still here.
Yeah. But
Shave your head, go to
Param,
sleep.
I think you started trying to say something and everybody started talking over you.
Sorry, bro.
Me? When?
A little bit ago. You went to make a comment and then James kind of went on his thing.
Honestly, that's so good because I don't remember what the fuck I was talking about. So.
Oh shit. Okay. The rest of this first round is I don't think we have to actually stay with the rest of this first round because there's only a few picks that actually jump out to me. So I'm gonna say some names, and then you guys.
No, there's
just go
one more.
ahead.
There's one more. I know you're probably gonna say it first, but there's somebody else in the first round that has to get some.
Well, he's
notoriety
gonna
here,
name some of the bigger names in the first round because later, like the middle of the first round is sort of like the, hey, yeah, we're sort of here, but not really.
I cannot wait to see how Jabril Peppers plays.
Oh, you knew I was gonna bring him up. Yeah.
Well, how can you not, dude? How can you not bring that up?
The Browns fucking stole him. Literally, I understand why people didn't take him earlier in the draft, but literally the Browns fucking stole him.
Yeah.
But literally, like OJ Howard going to the Buccaneers. Where else? Where am I going?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Ruben Foster.
Jared Davis going to the Lions, man. Fucking Garyon Clowney going.
Garyon Conley going to the Raiders.
Dude. Yeah.
I agree with that pick.
Steal of the first round, Jabril Peppers, because he had a diluted sample, drops all the way down. Let me look at this so I don't fucking misquote it. To 25 and going to the fucking Browns. Dude, he is about, like, you could get rid of Joe Hayden right now. I'm calling it. Like, you can just fucking ship his ass off somewhere else because Jabril is gonna play corner, he's gonna play linebacker, he's gonna play safety. That bitch is gonna play the whole fucking defense. Let's see who else.
Ruben Foster.
Ruben Foster to the 49ers at 31.
The only reason why I'll mention his name is because when the Saints were gonna draft him, he legit hung up the phone on him. He's like, nope, I ain't doing that.
What? Really?
Yeah. The players have the option to deny the pick.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
He didn't even
What's
touch
wrong
it,
with
he
these
just hung
kids
up
at
the
21 years old saying no to an NFL team? Get the fuck out
Well,
of here. You get picked by who you get picked by.
Well, I agree with that rule because I mean, if you know you're gonna cause problems down there, then or like if you know that there's going to be issues with going down there, like I wouldn't.
Well, I mean, but there's more to it than getting drafted to a team. You also become a professional athlete when you join a sports team. You have obligations. You don't go down there and say, "Oh, I'm going to cause trouble because I don't like this player." You're a grown-ass man who's getting millions of dollars to play a sport.
True.
You should be you should be happy wherever you go, bro.
Yeah, but I mean,
you ought to be happy wherever you ought to be happy to go.
If you're developing the beginning of your professional career, don't you want to be able to place yourself where you feel you'll be best fit?
And why didn't the Pats get everybody then?
Well, I mean, because the Pats don't have the best QB coach. That's Andy Reid. Everybody would have rather gone to the Chiefs to have Andy Reid there. All quarterbacks, Davis Webb, Deshaun Watson, all of these guys would have rather. They would have all wanted to be able to have the chance to get coached by Andy Reid because he is notorious for forming quarterbacks. If you wanna learn to have if you wanna play with a great defense and develop into a great defensive player, then you want to probably get drafted by the Seahawks because their defense came from nowhere.
Okay, so to get us back on track, because you brought it up, and because I want to hear your thoughts after I pretty much open with this. Param, I want to hear you talk about Jabril Peppers and this fucking immaculate pick that after they fucked up with their very first pick, they come back and do this. Like, the Browns might not be... Yeah, the Browns might not be complete idiots after all.
No, definitely not, because, okay, even look at it from a smaller standpoint. They're going to bring so much more attention to themselves purely because it's Jabril Peppers. Like, he was such a big name going into the draft that everybody forgot about him after he had this thing. And now it's kind of like on a team that has absolutely no defense, for a person to come in that can play multiple positions, there's going to be so many people watching Browns games all of a sudden, all from one player.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Just from Jabril Peppers, because if they need him to jump in, like, he will be out there all the time, because no matter what, he's gonna need to be out there because he's definitely one of the positions. Who else they got? Well, they're gonna put RG3 out at free safety, are they? No, you're gonna put Jabril Peppers out there. Same with, they're playing this defense. Let's go and put him in the. Oh man, I actually, like, as much as people hate and say, oh, his season's over, his career's over. Not really, because this is probably the best pick for him, because you've got somebody who's drawing so much attention to even getting involved in a scandal pre-draft. Yeah. And now all of a sudden this person is going to a team with no hope. So I think it's an awesome pick.
He's literally going to have the entire spotlight.
I'm going to go get a Jabril Peppers jersey. A Browns one.
After you get your Buda Baker?
Oh, mate, I'm getting... Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm going to get the black Buda Baker first. Triple B.
Am I the only Browns fan here?
I think so.
You're not a Browns fan.
I like the Browns. I believe they'll be good again.
Again?
Yeah,
saying good.
Bill Belichick is there?
I was aware of that. I was just...
He led them to like an 8-0 season. And then they've been like 1-16 seasons ever since.
They had one decent season in 2006.
Who's on the squad? 12 prior? Led by Hugh Jackson?
No, that season was that was the Derek Anderson, Brady Quinn controversy that year.
Oh, I know who Brady Quinn is.
I know who Derek Anderson is.
So, Jabril Peppers was literally like the last, like, oh my god pick of the first round. And
pretty much.
At first, like, I thought my Packers were fucking smart for trading out of the first round. And then the Steelers take TJ Watt, which once they did that, I was like, you motherfuckers shouldn't trade out of the first round. And then they get the first pick in the second round and draft Kevin fucking King. Like, next to, alright, to me, next to the Trubisky pick at 2, King is the most idiotic pick they could have ever done. When you still have, I don't care if he's going to be out half the fucking season. When you still have Sidney Jones, the best corner on the fucking board, still there, you take Sidney Jones. You don't take his second guy.
I will say though, you did say I don't care if he is out half the season. Given the recent track record of the Packers secondary, if they can get injured, they will get injured.
Yeah.
And so I agree.
Can I just ask you guys something though? So do you guys think that? Sorry, Pax, you go. Sorry, I'll talk after. It's
Okay. But if they can get injured, they will get injured, and that is really the reason why y'all couldn't really accomplish all that much in the playoffs last year. Even though Rodgers went on a hot streak, offense isn't everything in the NFL. And so, I mean, I agree that they took the guy that was slightly less talented, but was more reliable. You need to have a reliable guy in the NFL when really, if everybody gets hurt again this year, you will have at least one consistent force to say, hey, we aren't complete garbage.
Very true. Go ahead, Barham.
No, I was just gonna say, do you think anybody has gone out and made updated rosters yet for the draft?
No,
they probably will.
I was actually. Go ahead, Max.
They'll probably wait until round 7's over.
Oh yeah, but like somebody surely would have made temporary. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, like updatable drafts. Yeah. I don't know because I mean, if they did, then they'd have been on it. Because, I mean, that was literally like a day ago, so if they've made round 1 rosters yet, that would still be on it, because that's 32 players.
I was literally going to start that tonight before I decided to stream and do this with you guys.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go to bed soon. It's almost 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I see that, Pax. Yeah, James. What's up?
They have no running back.
Who?
The Packers.
That's why I said I wanted Christian McCaffrey.
Montgomery.
Nobody, like, he's a receiver. What are you saying?
Did you see him play running back? No. What are you saying?
He was drafted as a receiver. What are you saying?
He's a receiving.
So?
Back. That's all there is to it.
So?
Yeah,
They have
he's a bit
Christine
of both.
Michael. They have Christine Michael. That's about it.
You also have to understand, which is why I'm so okay with Montgomery being a running back. In high school and beginning college, he was a running back that they ended up converting into a wide receiver because they didn't have a wide receiver core, so they needed more people. So he's actually a converted running back. So he's actually back to his. Yeah, nah, I'm still bitter about that.
Christian McCaffrey was going to be a receiver now.
Yeah, and he could have been our running back, our starting running back. So, Param, since this guy coming up is from your school, do you want to talk about Malik McDowell, or do you want to just jump right into Buda Baker?
Honestly, I don't really know much about McDowell because I didn't really I stopped following after I realized how much of a bad season we were having. So I didn't really follow Michigan State as close as I probably should have this year, which I definitely am going to jump back on next year because somebody I know knows somebody who, like somebody I know actually played football with one of the new freshmen.
Oh wait. Apparently Gino is one of the dudes watching is wanting us to talk about Mixon. Have we forgotten about him, or has he not been picked yet where we're talking?
He has not been picked yet. We're actually going to get to that. We have a couple more players because now that we're going through the second and third round, we're going to start cherry picking who to talk about, but he hasn't been picked yet, but we're going to bring him up in just a little bit.
Okay, well, I'm about to go to bed. So,
Okay.
Gino, do you
if you would like to, you can jump on the Param Crow or Dustin the Gaming Dad, and they
I'm
will.
not streaming.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
you'd have
just
to jump on mine.
just jump over to Dustin the Gaming Dad, and his stream will still be going, and he will definitely talk about mixing for you. But yeah, I need to go to bed soon because in like 4 hours I get up to take a free physical.
I can
Alright,
like
bro.
go to church tomorrow. Wait.
All right, man.
Treatment, though.
Yeah, it's for football. Okay, so I'll see y'all
See ya,
later.
man.
Peace.